Okay. All right. Welcome to the second episode. This is Axe to Grind. It is a podcast where we talk about hardcore music, talk about, if we can borrow from hip hop, we're going to say hardcore fuckery. Some of the asinine bullshit that happens as well. It's almost like a gossip show, almost, yeah. but because we're going to try to keep current. But it's also, we're going to start doing segments. We got a really nice response to that first episode, so expect us to try a lot of shit out. Maybe some of it'll fail, maybe it won't. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Patrick. I'm in bands.
I'm Tom. I was in bands.
You still are technically
sure.
in bands. Okay, all right, we'll let you fly.
I'm Bob. I've been in no bands. Actually one, but we'll talk about that. Yeah, I have.
What band?
They were called the Bear Club, who evolved into wheelchair basketball, which evolved into
What
Get Real.
year was wheelchair basketball?
Wheelchair basketball was 2001,
yeah,
2002.
That sounds about right.
Played shows in Brick, New Jersey, obviously. Played with Tear It Up. Played with a band from Tennessee, the People's War, who were terrified because it was a bunch of surf kids running around saying very offensive words, smacking each other to an almost pop punk band called Wheelchair Basketball. And then that evolved into Get Real. So there we go.
Okay.
Let's get it started.
A little bit of personal history. Today, we are going to be talking about 2018. A lot of you, as we do this podcast, are at FYA Fest. If you're there and you're having a good time, good. We're going to try to check in with some of you via text, possibly a phone call, see what the temperature is down there. Are any bands, do we know, not playing because of this terrible fucking weather?
No, I think everyone made it.
Okay.
I think all the bands made it. Sam Triple B couldn't make it to the fest. Sam, I think that's a lie. I'm just calling you. I think you just made up the whole thing. I think he just made it up. No, he probably did, but Floridians.
I don't think he'd want to be sitting on that much merch. He printed a bunch of merch.
Maybe it was just a web store thing. I like it as a story better. If it was just I just did this order. Oh, can't make it.
Help me out.
Who wants to say, honestly, is that the least, that's the most thankless job, being the label dude at a fest? Like, that's rough. Sitting at the table all day. Maybe you take a couple breaks and watch your bands. I don't know. Is that fun?
That's true. You have to be a social being. And Sam is, but
Absolutely.
To me, that would, at this juncture in my life, that would be torture, is to be at a music event where things are loud, there's a lot of people, but I don't get to enjoy. I don't get to enjoy. Actually, but this year, FYA,
FYA looks great.
I would sit through a lot of FYA.
It looks really good.
From beginning to end, every band on there is pretty cool.
Yeah, shout out to FYA. I think Bob has just killed it the last couple of years. Actually, it's a fest that Sam and Bob started together. Sam stepped away, Bob does it, and I think his lineups for the last 3 years have been amazing. We're actually going to do a whole episode for everybody called Dear Fests, where it's going to be an open letter to the fests at large. We maybe get specific, got some ideas, suggestions, opportunities for improvement. We'll see. We're going to go deep on it.
That's a cutthroat world. You know how many weird DMs we're going to get over that one?
It's all right.
We're going to
roll with it.
That's going to be DM Central.
Well, only one of us has actually booked a fest.
That's right.
That's true. So I'm going to say that to those of you that caught the first episode, response has been so positive in the way that we hoped, which is that even those of you that felt like you got tiny bit shitted on, got the format of the show, understood that everybody's here to talk about their opinions. It's not to degrade you, make you less. It's to actually big up you, but also make it clear that we might just not like what you do on any level, which is I think,
I like a lot of
honestly, get the format. Get the format. The format is, if somebody's talking about you, you're winning, period.
Absolutely. So this episode and maybe the next is just going to be the three of us. We are going to get young people. We have some lined up, but you're stuck with three old men today. All right, let's 2018. I got one to throw out that I haven't mentioned yet. Fucked Up is doing a new record. Does anyone under the age of 25 really care?
Not a living human being.
I'm psyched.
I know you are.
I'm real psyched. Follow the band, big into it. Tom?
Not into it.
Nah.
Have you ever been?
I liked them more when they were like that, shitty punk, Negative Approach band. And not, I get it. What they do is amazing and it's cool, and
But is it? If you don't like it, ain't it amazing?
Nah,
But it's not for me. There's a lot of stuff that
I'll
I don't
axe
like.
to grind all day on this band.
Go ahead. You had one poster up in our apartment in Albany, and it was
Yeah, it's
fucked
good
up.
art. It's
You
That's
guys
right.
live together?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
How long?
Lincoln Drive, a year.
Yeah.
But I bailed
It was
because
the longest year you
It was,
No, it was a great year.
it was a rebuilding period for Bob, and he's like, Albany's cheap. I was like, it is. He's like, all right.
Shit.
And just to go on our thin blood, because we were talking about how it's cold everywhere, and he lives, Pat's talking about living in, heat on all the time. We didn't turn the heat on in the apartment unless it was below 55.
Yeah, we were living like animals.
Like
Animals.
full,
So-
thorough
It was-
human beings.
So anyway, no, my longtime beef with Fucked Up. It's not that long. It's like 2 years now. Is the kid does a podcast?
Damien, yeah.
Yes. And
A friend.
and pretended not to know who I was on that shit. I got like a dozen messages from people being like, yo, this fool is casting shade on you by
Oh, shit.
pretending not to know who you are. Now, listen here. When I walk into Target, I don't expect a living human being to know who the fuck I am. When I walk into the DMV, you know what I mean? Not a single person.
Sure.
You know what I mean? However, I've put out 50 fucking records, some of which on the same label.
True.
You know what I mean? So
You can say you know the name at least. You might not know the guy personally,
You know,
sure.
If you can't ID me,
I've listened
that's
to
fine.
I've listened to a bunch of episodes. I haven't heard. Now I need to find that
That
one. That
one.
sounds good.
I do
I'm
enjoy that
excited.
podcast
We're gonna
sometimes.
isolate that and put
to
it
be
on
totally,
here.
yeah, actually,
That'd
that's
be
good. That's good sound. To be totally fair, I didn't listen to it, so I'm going on secondhand. People trying
So
to
you
get
didn't even seek it
Yeah,
out.
secondhand
Wow.
axe to grind. All right, but I think here's the thing. I'm psyched. And I think I'm a rare case because I liked them when they were on that singles, like early shit. Like I actually got on them real early when even people who like that shit were like, yo, they're not a good band.
Yeah, you were advocating.
Were you the
big.
Generations comp guy?
Yeah.
That was you.
Yeah, that's me.
That's a very good comp.
Thanks. Some people do think that.
I enjoyed it.
So no, I got into them early because their name's fucked up. I thought I was cool as shit, and I liked some of the bands the dudes had done before that. And to the point where a good friend of mine was in the band Tear It Up. They were going up to Toronto playing with Fucked Up. Actually, I think Mental did that weekend with them, the first Mental tour weekend. Okay. And it was early, like Fucked Up maybe didn't have a record out. So I was like, yo, get me a demo, get me a t-shirt. I'm psyched for this band. My friend in Tear It Up went, yo, they were so bad. I didn't see if they had shirts. I didn't see if they had tapes, but they were so bad, I wasn't going to buy you one anyways. But so anyways, I've liked them from the beginning and have evolved and enjoyed all their stuff. And I think their next record is going to be interesting. I hope people check it out. I think that
I think people
LP
will, though.
I don't know if young
Hardcore
people
kids
will.
won't.
I don't think young people, right? The
that's-
people who
they don't
listen to
need
this
that.
show.
This is me being more objective now. I don't think so. Fucked Up has a really interesting career in the respect that hardcore kids were with it. Many of a certain age are diehard loyalists.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
My age, probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly your age. Feel really strongly
Yep.
about it. But the people that I know that got into Fucked Up through Spin Magazine,
Right.
those people are off it.
Yep. And have been for a minute.
And have been for a long time. And
Sure.
I think that if Fucked Up had come at a slightly different time, there might have been much more pushback to that success that they had.
Yeah.
But they came in at a good time where people were like, yo, I'm actually, the way you're navigating this is kind of funny.
Yep.
And I like the way that you're doing this.
And it felt natural. It felt organic. It was weird, but it felt organic.
Well, because...
I mean, they put out an 8-track.
But here's the thing. They didn't put all the stunts, all the bullshit
Right,
to get
yeah.
attention was inoffensive because it wasn't, when they changed their sound, which they did,
Yes.
it wasn't to anything easier to sell.
No.
So that part you can't ever take away from them.
Right.
Whereas every other band was trying to, we're going left because left is where the money's at.
Yeah, let's do this.
Maybe Fucked Up thought, hey, we can't be a hardcore band forever. Let's move this in a direction. But the direction that they chose was fundamentally more interesting. Now,
Yeah.
personally, I think that they are the anti-Converge to me, and I'll explain why. Converge, I think Jake, as a vocalist, fails half the time. And I think that that's because he's trying different things on every record.
Sure.
Right? Yep. So for every record, and you're trying different shit, some shit's going to stick, some shit is not. He established way early in the career I'm going to do this. You're going to listen. I'm going to try different vocal approaches. Some of them are going to sound borderline goofy, but now that you know I'm going to do this,
you're ready.
You're
prepared.
ready, and some of it you'll like, some of it you won't. And people disagree, right? Like there's Converge stuff that people
you talked
love.
about it last episode. You like some of the stuff he was doing last, right?
Yeah.
Tom's singing, he sounds like you.
Correct,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that like that's a thing that I deeply admire about Converge is like, hey, we're going to throw this everything
And
at
so
the
to
wall.
flip that to fucked up being the anti-Converge.
Being the anti-Converge in the respect that the novelty of his voice not growing in any respect.
While the band gets more and
Yes.
more.
Well, now I'm gonna go back on that. His style hasn't changed. 100% agree. I think he's gotten better at that style as they've gone on.
that might be true.
Totally,
But
you know what I mean. But you're right, because you look at and you listen to that band, and some of the interesting parts to me of that band's growth is the tension between what the vocals sound like and what the music sounds like. I don't even know. There has to be some thought to that interplay, but you're right. There is some static like with that. That's the only thing.
And maybe, like you said, maybe that is an appeal for a lot of listeners. Like
Maybe. But you go and if you listen, you imagine those records. I'll say this for self-defense: when you listen to the stuff with Caroline singing versus you, oh my God, totally different band, same material.
Well, that's the thing is
Right?
like at this juncture in my career, and they've been playing basically as long.
Yeah, same.
It is if I thought I could get away with it, I'd be doing like the shoo fucking like
Ballads and duets.
Frou-frou, yeah.
I'd be doing all that shit because like not for nothing. When you feel caged by your own ability, which
I know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you mean.
Tom and I are both vocalists of no real talent. We
Vocalist, hard quotes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. We both understand what it's like to be in a
I
fucking
think there's
cage.
some talent to it.
Well, it's an ability. Is it
an
a talent?
ability.
No, the willingness to do it and to go put it on, that's the ability, right? It's
Right.
like the willingness to.
Right. It's not easy. Not everyone can do it.
No.
Not everyone
Even
can
as,
do it.
as
No.
much as like, my family heard it to be like, what the fuck? But not everyone. I mean, you've heard people grab microphones and, and
Yes,
you go,
yes.
what are you listening to?
But here's the thing. I would. This is not me being
Deprecating,
yeah, it's not me being humble in any
Sure.
sort of way. I'm not even good at that. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not like, for example, any effort to sound genuinely aggressive is like really I'm not good at. Right?
Well, I mean, I think it's just what you define as aggressive. I think your best, and I mean, we're getting off, so maybe we'll pull it back in a second. Your best and most aggressive vocals are almost strained and feel sharp. Whereas when I hear, like, what's that Sacred Emmanuel Heart, whatever, Snitch Bastard Judas song for you.
Okay, but
that you sound aggressive, but it's a different type.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's almost like where you have to go.
Well, okay. So let's rein it back to fucked up. His voice, like to his credit, he is really good at that voice.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? He is good at that voice. I'm just personally very tired and like, listen, I just listened to there was a Fall record that came out last year. Mm-hmm. It's the Fall. It's all the records are on a continuum of sounding vaguely like the same fucking record. And his voice, I mean, I listened to the entire discography. That's like 150 records over the course of a few months. And his voice changes just because he becomes a more severe alcoholic. There's no like real intention.
Yeah, sure.
No, so like there are acts that I am okay with. Like this is all I'm ever gonna get. You know what I mean? Like, but with Fucked Up, the rest of the band is at this point legit soaring off into U2 in triplets. You know what I mean? Like, and
John Brannon still yelling
right,
over. Yeah.
right.
Sure.
So I mean, I'm actually personally I'm excited about it. I think the answer is we don't know. I would tell people, if you've never checked out that band, go listen to the Hidden World LP. It's a double LP. It's
That's
long.
the hit, right? Or
Well,
is it
I mean,
David Comes to Life.
David Comes to Light is great, but
That's
I think
the hit.
But Hidden World is the entry level. Hidden World if you like the melody side of it, the more musical stuff. Go to David Comes to Life, then you backtrack to Chemistry of Common Life, and then their last one, which was Glass something or other. Sorry, guys. If you liked the more gruff stuff, go from Hidden World and go back to the singles collection. Because that's the earlier shit. I think the new record's going to be interesting, if nothing else. And I mean, I don't think young people listen to it, but what do I know?
No. I always find it fascinating, too, which bands get kind of picked up by that, like, Vice scene. And they were one of the early ones that I was just like, how?
Well, they get picked up and put down. You know what I mean?
Like, like them or like Trash Talk. Yep. It's like, how does Trash Talk make sense to some kid that likes Action Bronson?
It's the energy. It's just energy.
I think Trash Talk is fucking fantastic, but I think it's...
Trash Talk, to me, is 100% the precursor to... maybe this is a totally separate episode we can do.
Yeah.
The kind of rap that kids are into right now. Like where it
SoundCloud.
Like the shit where it is... Like, okay... not Lil Peep, maybe Lil Pump, whatever the fuck. Sorry.
I think Lil Peep is the guy that died.
Lil Peep passed away. One of these fucking dudes.
Lil
at any
Pump
rate,
has like rainbow hair or something.
No. That's
all right, keep going.
That's Tekashi. Okay, so anyway.
What?
Anyway, I was trying to talk to somebody about that music, and they're a big fan. And I said, yeah, but is it good? And he's like, yeah, man, it's good as fuck. And I was like, and he's like, oh, wait, you mean like talented and shit? Like good? And I was like, yeah, I guess that's what I meant. Is there a different,
yeah.
And he goes, oh, no. But it like, you can't not get pumped up. And like, here's the deal. Like, this is not me shitting on fucking Trash Talk by making that comparison. It's simply to say that there are people who would never miss a Trash Talk show.
Correct.
Who will never listen to the record.
Absolutely.
And that is a relationship that is kind of rare, honestly.
It's rare, and it's from an artistic point of view, it's tough because you're going, I'm creating this thing and I'm putting it out there. You're interested in this one platform, the live side, but then the recordings, you don't particularly care. It's more about the energy. So that's a whole episode. Let's set that aside. Let's go. All right, so Fucked Up. I'm psyched.
You're psyched.
Everybody else, whatever.
No,
I don't care about you.
Honestly, if they do bold shit, if they make kind of like the decisions that I think they should have made 2 records ago, not to be a dick, I'll be interested. You know what I mean? Actually, I would be grinding a entirely too big an axe if I didn't confess that early shit is just really good hardcore. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's undeniable. But okay, what else are we excited for?
What else is coming out in 2018? I'm psyched to hear this Twitching Tongues record.
Okay, so let me...
You've heard it. So
I've heard it.
We talked about it. All right, so Twitching Tongues, let me go on them because somebody's like, yeah, we just don't like them, is inferred to like me and my friends. I actually saw Twitching Tongues years ago and was so put on by the performance. I was like, wow. I actually went and listened to some of the music. Recording didn't grab me like I'd hoped, but I thought it was cool live. And I went up to the dude, your buddy Taylor, after and was like, hey, I don't like any of the bands you're influenced by, but I like you. I liked what you guys did. And he was kind of like what? I'm like, Only Living Witness, that shit sucks. All that shit. Yeah, right. Bad music. But I was like, I liked what they did live. It hasn't caught me, but everybody hates that last record, right? And we talked about that last episode.
Yeah,
right?
We talked about it last episode. That last record is maligned, but maligned in an interesting way. Okay, so let's talk about this in a real way. We're going to be hella fucking honest for a second. There's 2 things to do if you step in shit with a record. You tour you tour extra aggressively to...
You bash it down people's throats.
You bash it down.
You push it.
Or you disappear for a year. They chose the latter.
Yes.
And I think that was the move.
Did you think it was the move at the time? Because I got to be honest, I didn't think so.
You know,
I thought it was kind of weak.
Did you?
Yeah.
See, I have mixed feelings on that because, firstly, they're
like, are we too inside baseball on this? Like knowing that there was response to it. Like, did they feel a way? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you got to think like they're younger dudes. They come out with this. They put this record together that they think is going to be their grand epic, and then it kind of people aren't the kids that like them don't like it. I'd be bummed out too.
Yeah, I mean, any person would be bummed out.
You know what I mean?
Also, not for nothing, the average band's LP cycle or release schedule is for those of you that aren't in bands and shit. Maybe I'm speaking to a lot of band people.
Yeah.
But basically, an LP is a labor of love. You put a lot of work into it. And if you do it right, which is an entirely separate episode where we talk about the quality of recording, if you do it right, it really feels like an accomplishment. And I get bands telling me all the time, because I love putting out small records for bands. I love putting out
Singles.
like EPs, singles, etc. And bands tell me, no, it's time that we did an LP. And I'm always like pushing back hard on that, because for most of you, it's not. You know what I mean? And particularly if you can't afford it. But
everybody wants an LP.
But
I know,
you know, at least you know,
everybody
we
wanted a
just
7-inch as a kid.
info rided like the next. We've got 5 episodes right now.
yeah, true.
We're good.
Okay,
This
so
is another episode.
So
with Twitching Tongues, though, I think if they would have put that In Love There Is No Law record out on Metal Blade,
Yeah.
they'd be probably where Code Orange is now.
well, okay, that's a
There's
great.
some good tracks on that, right?
That's a really, for a dude that grew up listening to every band
you
that
were
they
at
ripped
L'Amour,
on.
you were at L'Amour's rocking to that
Yeah,
shit.
and then when I said that, I think I said it to Colin. He's like, dude, that's like the nicest. Like, I was like, dude, you guys sound like Marauder and Carnivore and every band from Brooklyn in 1992.
Yeah,
And he's like, dude, it's like
they're
That's
students
what they
of that.
want. Yeah,
You
they
know
really
what I
are.
mean?
They are
and some other
disciples of it.
questionable Albany stuff, but that's a whole nother.
They're Troy Core dudes. But so here's the thing. Okay, so here's the thing. You pour your heart into something, and the response is tepid. Now, one of my bands puts out multiple records a year. There's people that straight fucking hate 30% of them, and that's no loss, because we put out so many. You're welcome to hate what you fucking hate.
And is it expectation too?
Well, yeah,
Like they're coming out thinking this record's gonna like.
Well, that's the thing.
gonna
If
kill.
you wait 2 years for a record, for an LP
That's
from a
right.
band that you love,
That's right. Yeah.
and you have really been looking forward to this, and then it's just brick. It's just buns.
Right, and it's just your expectation. You were expecting so much, and then it comes out, and whether it's bad or it's different. You know what I mean? There's a lot that goes in, and if it's just not hitting what your expectations are, you are.
Yeah, you're bummed. And that bum transfers to the band who feels it. You know what I mean?
So do you? They disappeared for a minute. I don't know. I don't hate on it. I don't think it was weak. I think it was tough. I wonder how the label was feeling on it. But like,
I don't think you wonder. I think we
no,
both
right.
know that most
Label
labels
ain't
feeling
that.
not good.
But like, here's the thing. Props to them for not just being like, oh, put out a bad record when we had our new big label debut. Let's close shop. Like,
oh
fuck
no,
that.
if you
Like,
break up, if breaking up is the weak
That's
move.
the biggest
That's the
total
weak
weak
move.
move. And like, props to
That's
those
trash.
dudes. And we say they're young because they are young. But those dudes they've been doing this for 10 years.
Yes.
Well,
Right.
you know,
And not in a
like, so-
dismissive way
No,
young, but
totally
I mean,
not.
like,
no,
you know.
no. And like, props to them.
From 17 on, they've been like a fucking thing.
So-
like,
so
when
you
you're
know,
23,
you've heard the record.
Yeah.
Just give us a preview. You can speak words without, you're not playing the songs on here.
Okay.
What's the first song called? Yeah.
So here's
Tell
the
me
deal.
lyrics.
I think they're doing some countdown on their social
that
on their
is,
socials.
17.
Is it cool?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
All right. Is that cool? You like it?
I don't know if I love it.
I assume that
Especially when you don't know it's a countdown. and
Yeah,
you
we're
just
breaking the
what the
news
fuck
here.
is-
It's
well,
a
it's gotta be
countdown for the
10 numbers going
announcement.
downward.
Right.
What the
Right,
fuck?
but
Okay.
if it's like if Colin's like,
Yeah, well, if it's just him
Does no
announcing,
one
"Hey,
know
I'm
that-
doing Vine too," then yeah, it's not great. But here's the thing. So I assume that there's an announcement at the end of those fucking days.
maybe
but,
it's a single or something.
Maybe. But,
Yeah, that'd be kind of
so with what I heard of the record, I think it is a definite improvement over the last record.
Which wasn't a bad record. It just wasn't what people were.
It wasn't what people would wanted, and they needed to trim the fat. They were trying to do too many things at one time.
It was
in
a
my view.
riff-a-rama. There were a lot of riffs.
So here's the deal.
True story, young bands. There can be too many riffs.
There's always, in my view, there's always too many riffs.
All right, so
But
give us the deal.
new record, solid. This is not me equivocating and being like, well, but I honestly, in my heart, and I've told Taylor this, they're going to have to play the shows for the people that want what this new record is. And like, to me, it's not power metal, but it is that weird. There's a weirdo out there that likes what this record actually is. And instead of playing for hardcore kids exclusively who have dreams of liking that stuff, or this is the only band of that type that they like.
know, right?
They need to play. And listen,
What's a band that that would be the
good
optimal touring? Like,
I mean, right now,
main
I
support,
don't even
like, is
know. I'm so outside that fucking world.
But I mean, is it
it's
like
not, It's not like Nightwish. It's not like that sort of shit.
is it like fucking Watain? Is it like a fucking
interesting.
No, it's
Cradle of Filth type
Pallbearer.
shit?
Okay. Watain is not right, but I'm going to say that like
Atmospheric stuff? Like,
no.
No, it's gotta be more aggressive than that.
No, it's like I think that there is a self-aware, I won't use the word goofy, but it's a self-aware metalness to it.
Like a tongue-in-cheek, though. Do you think it's like a kind of like a joke? Like,
it's not a joke.
Not a joke.
Those dudes love that music. Those dudes love that fucking music.
But like the mask and the fucking...
It's self-aware. It's like it is a bit in the classic sense of the word. And like Seb, who was our last guest from last episode, if you didn't listen to it, go listen to it. Seb seems like a dude who is really keen, as a lot of young dudes are, on... hey, the thing I'm being presented needs to be 100% sincere to the thoughts that you have in your head at all times. It needs to be a direct correlation between your feelings and the music that I'm getting. Whereas I think most older dudes tend to understand there's a side of me that like really fucking loves metal, hardcore, punk, whatever it is, but is also very much aware that it is a goof parade and fucking I can...
Yeah, there's a performance element to the whole thing.
And I can enjoy all of these levels at one time. This new record from Twitching Tongues is all of those levels. It has some really heartfelt fucking songs on it about real shit. It has some almost like...
Is there like a love song to Vine being gone?
No, like there is like... like topical shit, like world shit, right? But like through that metal lens of
So you said that there was like a ballad on there. And in my head, all I can think of is the Strife ballad. I fell again. That's, I don't know why.
Yo,
that's
vocal range. That was good.
Who can't sing, bitch? But that's what I'm thinking of, like when you're telling me there's like a fucking like
All right, so
ballad
quick thing.
on it.
Let's close it. The Twitching Tongues record that's coming out in 2018 is going to be
fucked up for like an hour.
I know, but whatever. I wanted to move that along
you guys
too.
don't like that shit?
I wanted to move that along too. It's going to be better, the same, or worse than the last record.
Oh, musically better, no debate. What will it do for them? If that's the question.
Well, that was going to be a second question, but
the question is if they actually, and I say this as I would say it to fucking Taylor or Colin. If they get out of their own way and stop the refusal to be lame by any circumstance, because let me give you a heads up to people at home. Most of y'all are over this and it's not a concern, but Taylor is an old school guy trapped in a young guy's body. So he is stuck on this. And I get stuck on this actually with one of my bands and not the other. You are going to tour with lame shit. That is a natural fucking unavoidable fact. You are going to tour with something that you do not think is remotely cool, and you are going to have this moment where you think, does this mean I'm not cool?
Let me not tarnish myself by subjecting myself to doing this tour
and
with
putting
garbage.
my name on this poster with this band.
Now,
not every tour is going to be a hate breed fucking satisfaction
here's the
tour.
thing is like,
it's only got 4 songs.
At some point, you are going to have to say, in every aspect of my life, artistic or professional, I have done a thing that was not the thing I would like to do. You know what I mean? Like it is. And for people, listen, I am the best, worst example of a grown man who only does what he wants to do to the detriment of his entire fucking existence.
Yeah, as me and Pat were talking to the pizza place before Tom got there, that neither of us have a dime. We're broke,
right now.
broke.
I'm not.
And Tom is the success on the podcast. So listen to him.
We both bought ski masks today to rob places.
Yeah,
that's we are low right now.
So Tom, we need you later. Yeah, we need you later.
Yeah, we're gonna need you. So the point is that. I get it. I really get being in music and being like, yeah, listen, this is the most fulfilling thing I do. Why would I want to do anything lame?
Yeah.
But like, once you
want to make money
once you monetize the shit, you are going to have to do. And this is the part that Taylor knows this. This motherfucker, he's going to text me about this, but he knows this. It can be fun to tour with lame bands.
Yes. Absolutely.
You don't have to love everything. And this is now not me talking to Taylor. He's a grown man.
No, this is some broad stuff about
this is broad stuff.
About not having shame in making money creating the art that you make.
Right. And maybe bringing them over to your side.
Well, also, that's some booking agent nonsense
like,
that I hate.
Whole
but
episode.
It's true.
Yes.
If you play enough full rooms, you will find out who your fan is
There's
by
a law
the
of
end of
averages,
those
man.
tours.
Yes,
you know
of
what I mean?
course.
And those kids might come out the next time you come.
And they
Yes.
might come out, and guess what? There might be significant crossover. I think Weezer is the worst band that has ever existed.
Wow.
And I run into people that like Weezer and my bands a whole lot.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't get to go into their heads and delete the parts of their brain.
And if Rivers Cuomo hit you up tomorrow, drug church.
He wouldn't. Drug church, yes.
Drug church, I'd
Self-defense,
say
no.
yes.
Self-defense, you say no.
We're gonna do the psychotherapy. Pat's gonna sit on this couch and we're gonna go through and talk to self-defense Pat and drug church
I like
Pat.
that,
Very
yeah.
different
I'm
people.
not,
divergent.
I'm not exaggerating. This is probably the brokest I've been. So I left like a real job more than a year ago, and I am straight up like ready to rob people broke. There is literally no amount of money. So like if somebody was
Really?
like, I can give you a
ready.
life-changing amount of money to do a tour with Weezer, I would say, I'll change my own motherfucking life.
So here it is. Hold on. No,
Direct
no.
opposition to what you just said.
So drug
Yes,
church.
but I'm a self-destructive piece of shit.
Yes. So
Okay, fair.
drug church Pat. Hey, $50. You're opening this Weezer US tour. You guys in?
Yeah, can we do international
Right.
too?
Self-defense. We'll give you $1,000 a night open for Weezer direct support.
No. What are you?
$5 grand, 10 grand, you know,
what?
right.
I'd say keep chalking it up. No,
Yeah.
there's no amount. And
We can get to the number, but I do believe Pat that he would not do that.
I
So-
will also
so
do
that's-
shit. There's something mentally
this
wrong
is a
with me
whole
where I
episode. We're
cut off
going
my nose,
crazy
but-
here.
Yeah, fair.
So anyway, Twitching Tongues.
Do it.
Bottom line, if they do the shows they're supposed to do with this type of music, they will be a significantly bigger band by the end of 2019.
What kind? Give me
Tom.
a show. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
But
I want your opinion. I want to hear you.
I'm just curious. Yeah, I just
my honest opinion.
having heard the record.
My
yeah.
honest opinion, because I don't know any of that soaring vocal shit.
Sure.
I think, and this is a weird take, I think they need to fall in with bands like Municipal Waste.
Yeah.
And
okay.
and not because they sound anything
like
like
it.
Municipal Waste, not a thing,
Sure.
but because Municipal Waste understands a thing that I don't even like, but is just a fucking fact, which is, hey y'all, this is going to be a fun evening.
Yep.
Yep.
and
I know.
I've
and
seen them and it's fun.
you
I
come
would never
here to
listen to the
have a
record.
good time.
Correct.
You understand that it is slightly goofy, that we're all grown men. It's covered in sweat, writhing on each other. It is weird. It is gross and sweaty. But you are going
have
to
a good
feel
time.
really good at the end of this.
Yeah.
Do you think the material that that Twitching Tongues puts forward, Colin, fucking funny dude, on record, he's not funny.
No, he's not.
Municipal Waste literally has songs about throwing up and partying. Like, it's the entire vibe is that
But I
one.
think the live element, I think that it's an interesting mix. I think it would be a good tour. I think that's a cool tour. Book that. Municipal Waste headlining, direct support, Twitching Tongues. The material probably goes over because the live performance is strong.
Right.
Now, they don't have to be goofy.
Right, no.
They just have to present
Right,
and
because
do
I
the
think that
damn
kind of
thing.
ruins. All right, so and I'll get off this after.
No.
So
do
I
it.
went to go see Maiden over the summer, right, at Barclays Center. Ghost was opening. I couldn't give two shits for Ghost. Everyone's like, you gotta listen to it, you gotta listen to it. To me, it sounds like Blue Oyster Cult. I don't like Blue Oyster Cult either.
They're good.
Ghost. No, but Ghost
Blue Oyster
live.
Cult, not Ghost.
Blue Oyster Cult, yeah.
Incredibly impressive.
But okay,
So they
Absolutely,
come
right.
out, they have the
Whole
whole
show,
fucking,
right.
like, he comes out as the Pope, then he changes into this fucking, like, slick, like, silk thing and all this sort of stuff. Amazing. It's really cool. He hits all the notes, everything. He talks in between, and he sounds like a 1920s vaudevillian comic.
whoa, is that
And he-
real?
Yes. He goes,
Wow.
let's talk about the female orgasm. Who's going to make each other come tonight?
Oh, my God.
I don't like that.
In between the songs. So
I'm
now
dead.
I don't need
I'm
that.
like
dead.
everyone's covered, their faces are covered. He's like, they have a full backdrop of a church. It's really impressive. And in between, he sounds like comic to insult.
This is-
triumph
I don't
to
need
insult.
that.
This
I
is
don't-
Gwar. It's
yeah,
Gwar.
okay,
Like,
see,
but that
get the
kind
fuck
of
out.
ruins
But
the
it's
whole
like,
vibe.
at least Gwar
Okay.
is self-aware to be like, yo, we're fucking aliens shooting
Jizz
blood
at
all
people.
over you, right?
Well, okay,
Sure.
So here's a question: did either of you see Twitching Tongues on the last run or the last two runs where Colin's wearing
A robe,
the Ric
cope,
Flair
yeah, right.
robe?
No,
and they
didn't
got
see
the
it, just saw
mask on?
I
pictures.
saw photos.
Okay, so what's your takeaway?
Wrong tours for doing that.
Oh,
'Cause
right.
I feel
See-
like
see, I
if
That's
think-
on Municipal Waste. Yeah.
if I'm a dude like going to see Hatebreed with my fucking
Bros,
my
you-
my goatee and
Yes.
my fucking tribal,
Yes.
I'm gonna be like, What?
No,
No,
I mean,
if they're Hatebreed,
I bet you love it. You're not able to put yourself in a tribal
Tour,
mind.
I think I would have done it for that. I think the No Warning, Life and Death, but that's
Sure,
also because it was a
also
familiar
that too.
room, you know.
Yes.
So I think they felt fun doing it, and I don't think it takes away. Like, props to them. I hope, because what I like is the contrast that Khan's a funny dude, but he and Taylor both don't take music as a joke. They're not writing joke music. They're
That's
not
what I
writing
mean.
fart
Yeah. Right.
jokes.
Yeah.
They're writing real songs, but that shit could present. And I think live, their performances are strong enough that they could go on tour with Municipal Waste and wouldn't get smoked and would win fans who were previously unfamiliar with the band.
That's exactly what I think they need to do. And there are bands in that clean vocal
Yep.
sort of shit that I don't know that they could definitely now compete with. That's what I guess I'm saying.
Sure.
This new record sounds competitive there. I straight up know so little. One time I met the booking agent for like all of those type of bands, and he had a what do you
Like
call
a
it?
goatee with like
The braided goatee. He had a
Sick.
braided goatee, and that was everything I needed to know about that scene of music.
fair.
Moving on.
no,
Yes.
Tom, what's your prediction for Twitching Tons, though? Given what Pat sold you on.
I'm psyched to hear it. I hope they, they put the work in because I think they're a talented bunch of dudes. I hope Sean Martin writes some stuff on there because Hatebreed can't really do much wrong. And I'd be curious. I just hope that they stick to it and kind of, if it's not, a giant hit right out of the box. That they
You don't want to see them recoil again.
No, I want them to fucking-
You think that could happen?
Yo, Tom is putting the challenge down. He
I
thinks
don't
you
know. I
guys.
mean, I
he thinks you guys shrunk up last time. Hit him with that hard stuff. Hit him stiff.
Hit 'em with the
stiff.
No,
All right.
because they're such a good band.
Yeah.
They need to just fucking hustle and not do like, they did that one tour at Harm's Way and then went away.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think
They were too cool for school. I get that, but I think they made the right move. I think time is going to prove that they made the right move of being like, oh, y'all don't love this one? Guess what? You're still going to buy our $85 hockey jerseys.
It's true, blue grape style.
While we chill and you forget about that record, then we're going to hit you with something that makes
Yeah.
your skin
so.
color.
If
I
they
hope
kill
so.
it with this record, vengeance is theirs. All right,
Yeah,
next.
true.
Yes. What are you excited for?
Oh shit, that's a great question. What am I excited for?
It can't be a record you're putting out yourself.
No.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't say that.
Harm Reduction Records.
No, what am I excited for? What are some of the long fucking put off records?
that we're waiting
Is there a
on?
King
Shit.
9 record that was supposed to come out
King
4
Nine,
years
King
ago?
Nine, it's recorded, right?
Apparently they recorded with the dude from War Hungry. I think it's
Arthur.
done. Yes.
Nice.
Okay, and it's done?
And that dude's a master.
Supposedly.
So yeah.
Okay, all right. I would be interested to hear that. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I'm really fucking excited about. You know what I
Let me
mean?
throw this one out. Kind of a weird one. Fiddlehead is doing an LP this year. Pat Flynn and Alex Henry from Basement, their band, very Swizzish, but like that's the easy throw out there. I think it's an interesting. I actually think it's Pat's best post Have Heart project by far, and I think the lyrics are really personal. I think it goes deep. I think that's a like must check out. I think it's coming out this year. I think it's all recorded and all that.
I do like that he does that sort of stuff because I feel like he could have easily just done another Have Heart band, which,
Well, he
I mean,
did.
which is
It's
free.
free, right.
But I'm saying he's also done his
Sweet
Jesus. So
Right.
he's done
He's done different shit, which
Post
is
Have
cool.
Heart, he did Clear, which is even more just like a straightforward hardcore band. It's Youngblood Records, not Bridge 9, like it's like that level. It's on Triple B, but it's straightforward. He did Sweet Jesus, which is Swizz Worship. Fiddlehead is somewhere in the mix there. It's got a little bit more, I don't know, not quite groove, but it's aggressive. It's really cool. I saw him at Brooklyn Bazaar and thought it was great. And he's doing free. And I
my
think
girl
that-
was there and
that-
thought the same thing, maybe.
Yeah, she was on it. She was, so it was cool.
So here's the thing. This is a weird criticism coming from a dude that would tell you 90% of the time, I'm just about the music, man. You know what I mean? Like, this is a weird criticism. Are they going to fucking do anything?
That's the question. I think they should. They got to play.
They got
Go
to
play California. Go
they
play.
Gotta play.
They only have played a handful, and I get it. I'm sure Free gets those offers a lot more. And like, yo, you're busy with Free and having a life. Basement's like a fucking real band on Fueled by Ramen, and you got to do that. But like, Fiddlehead's a cool enough project, and it's a band that's doing their own thing, and having that active with a lot of the other stuff. Like, hardcore is heavy music right now, exclusively almost.
Yeah.
It's fucking heavy all the time, and that's cool, but you mix in some of this other stuff, and that's where the young kids can get a cool influence and hear a whole bunch of different sounds and realize, yo, this all falls into my fucking bucket.
Yo, you raise a compelling point that right now everything is heavy or it was recorded in a basement and is the same tired shit that we've heard a million times.
Right. Lowest common denominator core.
And with no sort of middle ground for like, here's
the weirdos.
Yeah, right. Like,
and let's be careful because we don't have the young person in the room to check us, but this is our perspective. I agree with you.
You know what? I think, okay, so the 23-year-olds that I talk to name a lot of that Pacific Northwest stuff, a lot of the like
gag.
Yeah, well, the gag adjacent,
yes,
that sort of shit. They tell me that that's the weirdo stuff. But I'm gonna be frank with you, it's not weird.
No, it's weird for the sake of being the same. I think gag is only weird because of our time and place and things. It feels pretty tread for me. Like, I don't think it's bad by any chance, but like I hear it and I'm like, oh, all right. I see what you're doing.
The singer's persona makes it weirder than it actually is.
Absolutely, it's fast.
Like if
hardcore.
that was like some like fat dude in in overalls, no one would think anything of it.
If that's
he's not. This dude's around, singing naked.
If that's a record from 2004 on Deranged Records, it's like, oh,
that's
cool, more
my
of the same.
point.
Right.
That's
you know what
my
I mean?
point.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so
and there are a few bands from that ilk. That band Bib, I think they're from Nebraska. I actually think that band's actually cool.
If you're from Nebraska, you're doing something weird.
Yo, check it out. I think so. They did a 7-inch on
it.
Deranged, and they got their LP coming out on Popwig or something. I don't know, something like that's coming. I'm curious about. That's the one for 2018. I'm curious about.
What else we got? Who?
Oh, there's a ton. I'll put a big ask out there. There's a lot of little things coming that are like demos. So like demos and band camps. Make it past band camp, people. Please do something more. Like get out, tour a little bit. Whether that's just local. Don't worry about getting on a big national tour and being an opening slot and having a booking agent. All that garbage. Don't worry about that. Do some weekends, play shows, talk to people. You got fucking Twitter. That's the way this shit is. Just hit some dude up. Go play 6 hours away and come home the next day. Cool. Get past there because there's tons of little stuff that I hear all the time. They're like, oh, that's neat.
Broken up by the next time you
Broken
hear
up the
about
next time.
Yep.
And a friend of the room, Trey McCarthy, referred to a band who I put out their record many moons ago. He's like, oh, that band was a fart. Yeah. And that stuck with me because he was like, yeah, it happened. Everybody in the room smelled it and went, what was that? That was interesting. And then it disappeared minutes later, and it was like it never happened.
Well, do you want to hear
He was talking about my friend's band Robot Whales, which was cool.
Robot Whales is a great example. Spanish Bomb's great example.
Yeah.
These are older now.
Now 10 years, Jesus.
Yeah, these are 10-year-old examples of this.
Well, newer, Wet Witch. Right?
I mean, we could keep going up. We could keep going up the ladder of fart bands. Hoax was the fart band maybe five years ago.
Squirm. Tons of these things where it's just like, oh, what is this? Everybody's curious. Civilized, that band I mentioned in the last podcast. Yeah. I thought that band was fucking great, but they broke up before I got a chance to see them. Most people got a chance to see them, and that's fine. Do you? But like, give that. And they actually did some shit. They put out records. I think they even did a little touring. But like, if you write something that people pick up on and are hot on, yo, go play some shows, do some shit, work on it, make it happen, get a record out. Yeah, see what happens.
This is a thing I wrestle with a lot because having been putting out music for a long minute now, I kind of have like a not so secret resentment for people that just like fly by night, like, oh, I just, I think it'd be cool to have a 7-inch. Forgetting that that's how I started making music. Yeah, you know what I mean? But now that I've been doing it for so long and I'm like, this is a vocation, motherfucker. It either calls your name or it doesn't. I get like real fucking deep and heavy.
Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
Right. But the thing is that like, I try not to be the stodgy old dickhead about this shit that has put out 100 records, but like, put out some fucking records.
In the last.
He dropped that. Yeah, he dropped that.
You just put out 50 records in the last 40 minutes.
I put out a record while I was sitting here.
So all right, let's go.
But is Bandcamp a thing that we are too old to understand?
No, it's not. It's not. It's great. I mean, I think it's great because it's like it's a way to get your shit out there immediately.
Like, is the 7-inch not a thing that people like?
I'll say this.
7 inches are dead for a lot of reasons.
I think me and Pat have talked about this, and I would say this to some of my friends. You know what I think is the move is very small press 7 inches.
Sure.
I would rather sell 57 inches for $20 a pop than try to sell 207 inches for $5 a pop.
But is that feasible to be able to get that?
I think
low,
so.
That small amount?
If you put out, but I mean, if you do 57 inches and people aren't buying for that, well, then maybe you shouldn't have put out a fucking record. Your Bandcamp was fine.
Here's the deal: if you put out 100 7 inches, what do you charge? $1,000?
Yeah, I mean for a standard pressing, I mean you're probably looking at a $10 piece, or let's say it's with covers and stuff, you're in the 800-ish range.
Right. Okay. So that makes sense. So, all right. So people at home, if you have no familiarity with this, if you've never done a label or never deep dived on your...
This will be a whole episode too, by the way.
Yeah, this will be a whole episode. But
We are booked out until like 2020.
But basically, as with almost every piece of manufacturing in the world, the smaller run of something that you do, the price per unit goes up.
Right.
So that's a lot of times young bands, young labels think, yeah, but if I press 1,000,
my price per unit is low. It's low enough. If you press 1,000 7-inches today, you can probably, even if you don't go crazy with the cover and colors and all that, you can probably come away with a cost of goods per unit. So each one costs you to make it somewhere between $300 and $350 per piece.
And you think, I'm going to sell those at $5 or $7, $5 to $7, not understanding that no, you're not. You're going to have to be middlemanned by a distro. So
you're going to wholesale a
actuality,
bunch for $4.25.
Right. So in fact, you're making pennies on the dollar at the end of the day. But whatever. To the point, you are making, to be clear, you are making no money on 100 pressing of a 7-inch.
None.
However, that should not be your goal. You know what I mean? Your goal should be to break even on that, maybe. And to just have product for when you are touring. It is a loss. You take a loss when you are building your business. Like, it is like any other business on the face of the planet. Oh, shit, I just bought this pizzeria. It looks like a good investment. Oh, no, the cooler broke. Guess what, motherfucker? You buy a cooler.
Buy a new cooler, yeah.
So here's the deal. You bought a cooler in the form of 107 inches that you would have to sell at $10 and sell all of them to really make any money. And you're not making really...
No, and so, you know what? We could go on about this, right?
Right.
Let's do that. Let's do a whole episode. We're going to get deep on this and send us questions because we'll go on it. I've done records. Pat's done records.
I have not done any records.
But he's been on the other side, so he's going to be kind of guiding us through that. I think, and we're talking about 2018. I will say this. I think that I hear new shit all the time. I'm actively looking for new bands, always checking out. Some band from South Florida, Subliminal Control. I don't think they've really done much. Melodic hardcore. It's interesting and cool. I asked some people down there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they're cool." Nobody hears, nobody outside of here knows them, but I think it's cool. There's a ton of stuff that I hear, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
And I don't have a track back on that because there was no release, and it just kind of gets lost at the same time. I'm currently thinking of some band from Michigan that did a Bandcamp only thing that I was like, "Oh shit, this is awesome!" Like last year, maybe it was the dude who moved to California, does the podcast with Colin. Whatever that dude's name is.
Does the movie podcast.
Yeah. Whatever. But he did some band, and it's gone. I don't even remember the name, but I thought it was fucking great, and it's just never nothing. It's just like, oh, here's this project.
And look, some of you listening to this, that's your shit. Your thrill is obscurity. Your thrill is these tiny releases, etc., that you remember fondly and whatever. I'm over that bullshit. So I'm not with it. But okay.
New releases for 2018. Let's run down it. Trail of Lies.
Trail of Lies. Let's talk about Trail of Lies. Let's talk about
promo.
this. Let's talk about this. So Trail of Lies do we think they do everything the right way? Is that fair?
I think they do.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
So Bob is a longtime backer of Trail of Lies.
Yeah.
And part of it is their presentation.
A lot of it.
They understand what they are doing and are demonstrating a mastery of the actual job of being a hardcore band. Okay, so that doesn't mean he likes every song. You know what I mean?
I'll speak on it. I don't musically. It's not my world. It's like they're doing that Syracuse like heavier shit. And it's just not what I'm into. But live, they're crazy. A lot like Incendiary, not the same energy, but like they have a fucking energy. It's like, oh shit, okay, I see why people are going wild for it. I think the record's going to be big. I think it's going to be good. And I just think they execute everything. If they put in the work, I think they could be the biggest band going by this time next year.
So, okay, prediction, that's a strong one. Now,
not the biggest band. No. You know what? I'll say they'll be...
the hottest hardcore band.
They'll be on the up and up. Like, they'll be one of those bands who people are like, oh shit, This Is Hardcore set was crazy.
Yes.
If they play. You know what I mean?
That I think is true. Let me say this. I did not think that at all. Met one of the dudes, cool dude. It is heavy. I'm thinking in more of a Buried Alive sort of way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But it is heavy, and I'm with that. But it did not come together for me. And you kept saying, "Listen, this band's going to be big." Totally ignored you.
Yes,
thought Bob's crazy.
Yes.
And then I watched their promo video the other day. their promo video, which is legitimately them. It's just black and white film.
Is it like a Nike commercial?
It's a Nike commercial. It's a Nike commercial.
With
Now-
like a hip hop beat behind
Right.
it.
Yes.
and
Yes. Not
no
their
music.
music. Not their
No, it's
music.
good.
But like, yeah, right. So here's the deal. I watched that and am now convinced that they are going to be a big band. Not because they didn't even. I didn't even hear any new music.
I couldn't even tell you
have
a
no
note.
idea
Yeah.
what the fuck.
Yo,
is
can we
they could be
let's
selling
run
something
it
other
at
than
the end
music.
of this episode. Let's run the promo at the end of this episode.
We
Yeah,
should.
okay,
So that shit proved to me, oh, these dudes have a brain in their head and they know what they're doing. Now, don't get me wrong. If a band without the hardcore ties, if a band with even a touch of a credibility issue did the same thing,
oh God,
we'd
slaughtered.
be murdering them.
Slaughtered.
Let's just be honest. Let's
Slaughtered.
go.
If this is a bunch of beat down kids that nobody knows,
Right.
we all crushing them.
Right,
Crushing them.
but because they got their bona fides and we recognize their faces, we know them.
Yeah.
We're thinking, okay, this is a smart play that you're doing. Whereas we would have murdered you if
Totally.
you know.
They're going for it. I appreciate it.
But
And it's coming out on Edgewood Records, not fucking like Pure Noise, where it's going to feel like, oh shit, no diss to Pure Noise.
no,
You gotta
but
edit
that's
that out,
actually a
you know
good
what I mean?
point. That's a good point. This is a very professional look.
Yes.
Probably undertaken by the band themselves.
Yes.
I don't know the dudes at Edgewood.
Cool. It's going to be, they're going to do some cool shit this year.
But
A lot
like,
of cool shit.
Yeah.
but like, did they speculation? Did they throw a budget at them and say, go make some video content?
Trail of Lies. Let's not put them on blast. I have a feeling this was a band done thing.
That's what I'm saying,
which
but
is
that's
so
what makes it
fucking
impressive.
cool.
That's what makes it
Absolutely.
cool.
Right.
So like that sort of go-gettedness, you know what I mean?
Right. And even if those 3 labels that were listed on there threw them a couple of bucks to put this together.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Even
cool.
great, yeah.
Well,
fuck
sure.
yeah.
Particularly if the band actually said, hey, we're
wanna
thinking
do
about
this.
doing something. Can we get small budget? We're going to split it
Using
up.
social media, using their connections to all these different people.
It's 2018, maybe it was like, give us $300 so we can get our
Yes.
buddy,
Yes.
a couple bucks, whatever.
Right.
Now, here's a definite own episode. Here's a teaser. My hottest take of my adult current life.
Wow. This is big.
Hardcore bands need to make money. That is my hot take. It is my, can you believe what I just said?
The audacity.
The
Yeah.
audacity.
Let me follow it and
The
touch it on here.
temerity.
Here's the thing I'll touch it on. Hardcore bands should be able to make money, and there should be no shame in it, and nobody should be mad about it. Let's go on it. We'll
Now,
go
does
on,
that
not
hinge
now,
on the reunion thing too?
You have a real thing in
No,
your
but he's
craw
saying like
right now.
bands
about-
shouldn't make
No,
hardcore bands should make money.
should
Should
be
make
able
money.
to, and there should be no shame attached to it. There should be no like, like they have to feel away.
I'm
like,
coming-
I
Oh,
think there is shame that like when you're asking for 20 grand for a reunion show.
But here's what I'm going to say. Okay, real quick. I think that part of that pushback, if I was going to push back, and I wouldn't push back on that, because if I was doing a fest and somebody said our price is $20,000, I'd say, well, keep it moving then. You know what I mean? Like try the next fest. But if you got it from somebody, good for you. Here's my point: is the reason that this is a hot take is not because I play hardcore music and I need money for rent. I actually currently don't play any hardcore music, but I think that as a genre, maybe an art form that I enjoy, it is not going to get any more interesting unless people can afford to do it. You know what I mean?
Right, and throw themselves into it full head.
Exactly.
Do stuff and
Because
be able
right
to
now
do
we
it.
have a ton of half stepping. We have a ton of people with a toe in.
Right, and that's what
life is
those
expensive.
Bandcamp recordings
Right,
are. You
right.
do it as a project, it's like, I can't do that. I need to finish school, man. I'm doing
Right,
this.
right.
Or
Yes.
I
Throw
got
it
a
up there
full-time
for free,
job.
and if you make
I
a
work
couple
at
bucks,
State Farm. I can't do this band all
Right,
the time.
and I don't think we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get that level of dynamic change, that interesting bubble, until there is an ability to make rent, and that's why I think it's important.
So let's get Trail of Lies makes that money 2018. All right, next.
chase it.
All right, let's. So Edgewood Records. I'll just go through these quick. Trail of Lies LP. Regulate going in the studio next week. Seb wouldn't talk about this humble little dude.
Is that an LP?
LP. Yep.
Edgewood, you're wild.
and Blind Justice.
We can't talk about it. Okay, well, some other shit then.
No, we can talk. I mean,
Okay.
I don't
we
know
knew about that. I thought that was out there.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, Body said it at the show, so you can't get mad about this. Blind Justice LP.
No, it was like posted somewhere.
Did they
I didn't
post
make
it?
that up.
Edgewood
I think.
and I think maybe somebody else is involved too, but I'm not sure.
I don't know about that, but I think someone posted that
Okay, all right.
this year, like 2018, is going to be
Yeah, that's right.
televised,
Yeah, I saw kids talking
Blind
about right.
Justice, and
Let's
and there's some other
let's
stuff.
let people
So
be
regulate.
angry
Let's
if we
talk
said
about
it.
regulate.
Those
I
dudes,
think
I
that
mean-
record's going to be big. The thing I've been telling them, because they're my buddies, I was like, yo, they've got this heaviness, they've got this groove.
The groove is there.
Really there, and I was like, yo, I want to hear some fast songs in there just to change it up, but make it good, like not. And the new shit that I've heard is great.
Okay.
So that record's gonna be big, and I think they want to tour and go, and they want to go full bore at it. So fuck yeah.
great.
Yeah, it'd be awesome if there
mean,
was like a young hardcore band that was like an actual
it.
hardcore band. No, that's not shade to people that are doing
no,
live
no,
shit.
straight up, like,
But yeah, like that was going at it.
Well,
full
and the
tilt.
thing is, they're heavy enough for the heavy kids, but they're fast enough, and they got enough groove. The kids who are more into a straight up or more traditional thing can vibe on it too. So.
Okay.
And I'm psyched for this Blind Justice record. The last
Yeah,
record
me
was
too.
really great.
Okay.
And I think if they got put in front of people, like they would murder it.
Singers-
like,
singers one of the
Body's
best
one of the
singers.
best frontmen, like in the last, probably the 2000s.
Yeah,
would
I
say.
agree with that.
Really?
Seriously, like
Yo, his
like
energy
a
is
full
wild.
like Zach De La Roca, like fuck, like, and the dudes in the band are all like
Into
really
it.
good musicians, and like they could legit, like if they could get their shit together, they would be fucking terrible.
So these are my young homies,
Yeah.
and I say that in no sunning way. Like they're fucking amazing. They're the best band from the area I grew up in a long time.
Yeah, if you see them, you'd be shocked at how you'd be like, how is this band not the biggest band in hardcore right now?
And like they played
Like-
Sound and Fury a couple years ago when it came back, and they played a 12-minute set and just blew up the stage. And it's the singer's got that energy in him that's almost like you can't control. It's like you know, it's like
Zach.
popping a
It's like
bottle.
fucking-
yeah, it goes crazy.
His hair
So-
is nuts. He's like all over the fucking place.
Yeah, and so
like,
so here's the big thing. Their last record, Undertow, it's on Spotify, so fucking listen to that shit.
Yeah.
Yo, there's only 500 copies of it on vinyl, and I've been like, damn, I just think that didn't even get the opportunity for people to see it out there.
I didn't even know it existed in physical copy.
I'll give
to be
you.
honest
I
with
have an extra. It's for you.
awesome. Thank
But
you.
so that's it. Just they got to get out there. I think that's a cool band, and like if they can do a little bit, that's enough. They do it live, so I think that's a cool record, and it's a traditional like they're fast hardcore.
But not like Youth Crew corny stuff.
No,
It's
no,
really good.
no.
Really, really good and super impressive live.
Shall we talk about, to wrap up, instead of looking forward, should we talk about what's happening right this second?
Yeah, do you got some updates? I got some updates.
You got some updates?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's talk about how you say this name,
Vamachara.
Vamachara.
Good band.
Okay, so I listened to, so they put out an LP last night. Did you listen to it?
I haven't yet. I
No.
saw them. We played with them at Rainfest.
Okay.
And I was actually pretty impressed. I was impressed. Very good.
This band, to me, needs to isolate the interesting parts, which happen every other song, and make that the record. Because this record is heavy. I listened to it twice. The record is heavy, undeniably. It's hard.
Yeah.
If you could do heavy and hard, you're onto something. You know what I mean? Like, but then there's these really interesting parts, like straight up like annoying leads, and you're like, oh, what a weird decision to be annoying. But that's a decision, and
Yes.
it sounds cool because
Right.
it's fucking vocals. There's different vocal shit, and to me, that's spice right now. But I'd like it if that was the full meal. You know what I mean? I'd like it if it was just like,
Yeah.
hey, instead of doing 9 songs that are heavy with like a touch of something weird every third song,
Let's do just fucking Ford Weir songs.
here's 4
Here's an EP of
fucking
weird
weird,
shit.
heavy songs, and I would have enjoyed that much more.
California's got some stuff going on.
Yeah, they do.
Dead
So-
Heat.
Dead Heat,
Them.
good band. Yeah.
Line of Sight just put out a record. Now you listen to this one?
I have not. But I feel like when I hear that name,
Yes,
I think
correct.
of a
Wait,
That's
hold
how I
on,
feel.
hold on. We
That's how I
need
feel.
Tom to talk about it. Go.
I'm not trying to be a dick.
No,
There's
no,
no
you go
shade
in,
towards
you
these
go in.
dudes.
Be dead.
I feel like this is a band that I saw like open for 10 Yard Fight in like 1998 in Worcester.
Okay.
And I don't even I have no idea they could be a
That's
Slayer
Line of
cover
Fire.
band.
So,
But that's what I think of when I hear the name.
right. Well, that's the thing is a lot of these bands are so formalist with the name, so stuck in genre with the name.
Unified Right, any of these bands, they
So
all have like that.
Line of Sight record's called Descent, out on Youngblood Records
Right
soon.
now, yeah.
Pre-orders are coming
Oh,
out. Yeah, you
pre-orders,
can,
I think,
you
are
can listen
probably
to
up,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So is it a Youngblood? Like
It is. It's Youngblood, and it is Youngblood music for sure. For those of you at home that is Youngblood. Okay, here's me sounding hella old.
No, go.
Is Youngblood at all a relevant label to kids, or
No.
did Triple B usurp that space?
It's interesting. Did Sam usurp that space? Youngblood had a moment. Youngblood started and were releasing records pretty slowly. but stuff.
But
that
each
people,
one was a hit.
But yeah, people were really drawn to it. He had a cool aesthetic. He was doing cool stuff. Even though when you look back at it, you're like, there's a few that really stick out from the early era. Life's Hall, huge thing, But then you go, oh, Rancor. I like Rancor. Have you ever heard Rancor, Pat?
No.
Have you heard Rancor, Tom?
I have, but I mean, I don't know if I've ever.
So that's some like real deep 97 straight edge cuts, but like he's done stuff that look cool. He's always been putting out, say mid 2000s, he really kind of crescendoed. He put out the first Iron Age record, Constant Struggle, well, the LP.
Didn't he have like the First Step? Was that him too, or no?
No, he never did First
That's
Step.
React.
But they felt like
React.
they should. They did React and they did Rivalry. No, they didn't do React. React did like a last record. They did Livewire and then they did Rivalry.
Okay.
So Youngblood.
I mean, Livewire was a label, not just a message board.
Fucking yeah, I know. We'll talk about it some other time. But they crescendoed. They do Iron Age. They do Lights Out LP, Overload, totally overlooked record from that time period. And then he kind of slowed down again, but has continually done stuff.
Yeah.
So is it as relevant as it was 5 years ago? Sure. Is it as relevant as it was 10 years ago? I don't think so. But like it's just on frequency of releases. I think people still do check his shit out. He's always put that effort in being at the fest, going to this is hardcore, this and that, and putting certain stuff out. I don't think it's gotten like he hasn't had that one record that's stuck with people like say the Fury LP that Sam put out.
Right.
But this Line of Sight record, people are hype on it.
I mean,
Yeah.
there are a ton of dudes out there that still wear T-shirts over their hoodies.
Yes, that's
And
just a
there's
fact.
still, that's a
That
thing,
is a
and it
fact.
blows my mind.
Yes.
Every once in a while, you go, "What the fuck?"
Yes.
It's like
Oh,
you
it's
have a Gorilla Biscuit shirt over Ethan Today hoodie. Like
Sometimes
that's
that
kind of
aesthetic
awesome.
feels wild. Yeah, some people
and
just
you're like
gravitate
22.
to it.
It's amazing.
And don't
Like,
forget like
I know,
shorts
yeah.
over your sweatpants as well. That's a good.
That's like a homeless.
So Line of Sight, but you were vibing on it. You thought that was
Okay,
cool.
check this
So
out.
this Line of Sight record was sent to me by Mike B of Spiritual Cramp.
Which we didn't talk about their record for last year because a lot of people talked about it.
Oh, the Spiritual Cramp record. Spiritual Cramp is a band that should be on everybody's radar.
They're playing those AN shows.
They are.
Yeah.
And that's a good fit. We got to talk about those AN shows. Who's going
Yeah,
to
let's
those?
talk about that shit some other time.
But Mike B turned me on to this. He's not like a Youth Crew head, but he likes anything that demonstrates smart. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So I gave it a listen, and I wasn't mad. And I'm going to say that is the highest compliment that I can pay to a Youth Crew record.
So I haven't listened to it yet. I have the demo and I liked it okay. Let me say this as an older dude now. The dude who sings in Line of Sight, Austin, he plays guitar in Free, I think.
Yeah, and was
Have Heart guy.
touring Have Heart
guy.
musician.
Before all of that,
He is a excellent live musician. by the way.
goes off. He sang for this band, The Frontline, who did 1 7-inch on Grave Mistake called Withstand. And it's of that style, like straight edge, kind of like straight up hardcore kind of stuff. Like Youth Crew, I don't like throwing that around as a genre. It's not quite that, but it's on the faster side of that stuff. It's really fucking good. So I'm not surprised this record's cool. I want to check it out.
Yeah,
I think also secretly, Pat would have a softer spot for Youth Crew shit if he grew up in a different place. Like secretly,
Anywhere but Albany?
If he grew up in New Jersey, that dude's like
forget it.
turning point all over the place.
Yeah,
He's
you have like a
fucking-
mouthpiece tattoo
He's
or
I don't
something.
fucking,
think-
yes, he is. Yeah, we'll talk about that on another time.
So this is available.
It's on
online.
You can
right
listen
now?
to it right now.
Yeah,
On Bandcamp.
right now you can listen to it on Bandcamp.
Gonna do that.
All right,
I'll check it
so
out.
next up, I'm running through these quick. Bad Moods, Super Collider. This is Tim, formerly, he was in one incarnation of
He played bass
Foundation.
for Foundation, right?
Foundation, correct.
Yes.
He is one of my favorite Atlanta figures.
Absolutely.
Makes
He
sense.
he is his own dude and has
Yes.
walked his own path for a minute. As consistently says "fuck you" to the right and wrong people.
Yes.
And for that, I always have a lot of respect for him. We'll check out what he's doing. When he told me that he was basing his musical career on a single Evan Dando performance, I thought that was a mighty
That's a reach.
risky line to walk. So for people at home that might not be into some of that shit, there was a period, and sometimes still happens, I guess, where dudes like Evan Dando were performing electric guitar but unaccompanied.
Yes.
And this is the most easy type of music to fuck up. This is the music. This is the type of performance that can veer so head first into terrible thing
You gotta
to
have
witness.
a charm and a voice to be able to pull it
Oh
off.
my God! Yeah, everything has to be perfectly dialed in,
Yeah.
or you are. It's like going to Guitar Center. Otherwise, it's fucking terrible. But so when he told me that was his inspiration, I was a little nervous. But I've checked out what he's been doing over the time, and this is band shit. But,
He's got a full band, right?
But it is really good.
It's called Bad
really
Moods.
good.
Yeah,
Yo, it's
Bad
really
Moods.
good.
Like Lemonhead's vibe?
Bad Moods. No, it's like
no.
not even that raucous. It's like it's pulled back. It's.
I feel like you would like it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
love
would.
that
You-
sort of
you
shit.
would-
I mean,
you
that's
would
what
Honestly, you know what I
undoubtedly
thought was
like it.
interesting? I thought there was a lot of personality in it.
Yep.
And like, can I say there's twang in the vocals?
No, you can say it.
Yeah,
Southern.
there's, but it's not on some forced bullshit. That it's just it feels cool. It feels like a real authentic thing, and it's stepping out of hardcore. So I encourage everybody to check it out. It's
I called
fucking
it
cool.
college rock online and got like a little pushback. But
Because
like,
people don't understand. Fucking
mean, there is no
CMG
college
CMJ has
rock.
been dying.
College rock.
there's no
10
college rock
years,
now,
yeah.
but this is
This fits in
This
there.
is 120 minutes. Like,
of the bands
Yeah,
that
there you
are
go.
going backwards towards college rock, and that includes some of the like the
a lot of run for cover bands?
like
Or-
the pop wig peripheral bands like Bug or
Bug, yeah.
that sort of stuff. Like this was my favorite of that sound.
Totally another level. It's great. Yeah.
And now we got to talk about that Jukai Winter promo. That's the last one I got.
I got 2 demos I want to talk about.
Good.
And real quick, I want to put out a Jukai record, full disclosure, at some point. I really like Jukai. My girl loves Jukai. I think
I can make that happen.
I think there's a lot of potential. However, this was a step in the wrong direction for me personally.
Why?
Because I was nervous that they would not spend the time recording. I know that they wanted something out for FYA. I knew that they time was of the essence. They really wanted this material out, and it might just be me. This might be like not the consensus. Maybe a 22-year-old hardcore kid feels different. I need everybody to sound just a little bit better now. And it might be because my ears are going, but I need
Like the recording.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
So
need.
you're-
Of the 2 songs, I thought the second song was a lot. Like, I liked the first one. I thought the second one was
Second song was
home
better.
run.
Second song was better. All right. So here's
But
what
I
I'll
think
go.
both songs could have killed if they took a week in the studio.
I don't know.
That's the way I
But
feel
I mean,
about
do they?
that.
I mean, who paid for it? Scanlon?
I don't know the answer.
know what I mean? Like,
Reconsider records.
I didn't get.
Yeah.
I didn't get into their business, but
Oh shit!
Yeah, there you go.
Fucking
Look at that.
but
prolific.
and this is not. And this isn't me shitting on the labels. It's not me shitting on them. It's just honestly.
I mean, if they're coming out of pocket, how much do you expect them to sound like they're fucking
Okay, well, I'm
recording
gonna
it?
say
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
say
right,
something
right.
wild ass.
I mean, they're adults and they have jobs. so
There's
they
adults in there. Like,
Sure.
so I do a label. So let this is a little letting people behind the curtain in a way that it might
Yeah,
put me
Oz.
might put
Yeah,
me out of
yeah,
business.
Ozzy, go.
Might put me out of business.
A 2-song.
There's 5
recording.
of you.
We talking $400 a piece?
400.
Per human?
You'd kill it if 5 people brought $400 a piece.
Quick math. That's $2,000.
Yeah.
That would mean that you could record 2 songs and have them professionally mastered by someone that knows their craft.
Okay.
And have 2 excellent sounding songs.
Okay.
Even if you're doing heavy music, and heavy music is where you need to have a little bit more.
Like clarity and
Yeah,
kind of,
okay.
yeah.
Even if you're doing heavy music, at 2,000 and change, you can have a great sounding
4-song
songs.
EP, probably.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
here's
yeah,
where
for
I'm gonna go in and say that I'm with all the production talk, and I think it's worth it. I think there is a need for it. I think that sometimes because of the accessibility of some do-it-yourself or just doing some easier shit, there's not the respect for the craft of production.
But is
there's
this a little
thing.
too like inside baseball?
There's a little
for us?
bit, but I'm gonna go right back to the music. I think that's a band who I've seen live and go, oh shit, this is the band who should be big next year. Like they should be a band we talk about. 2018 should be the year for Jukai, but I think 2017 should have been the year for Jukai.
That's what I'm
too.
saying. They should
And
be playing
should've-
direct. They should
but-
put out something that puts them directly under Code Orange as support.
Right,
That's
and-
how strongly I feel about that.
And
Wow,
so
okay.
I think the music, it's heavy, right?
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be, but it doesn't hit it for me with these songs. And like take it with the grain of salt because I'm the least heavy hardcore
that's not
dude.
your scene. Yeah.
But I can certainly give it an ear, and I've had a fucking long time to listen to this stuff, so some of it does resonate. And I just went, oh, this isn't heavy enough, heavy in a way that's like ignorant, like, oh shit, this is fucking dumb to me. Right. And it's also not heavy enough in a like tasteful heavy, like, oh, I vibe on this way. So I think it's just missing. It's like eating a baked potato with no salt, no butter, no pepper, no nothing. And being like, oh, this is good. I could subside on this and I get it. But like I saw that baked potato come out on a plate over there, and that motherfucker had cheese, and he had I think I saw some bacon bits. Yeah, there was some crazy shit going on. And like I saw them, and that's Jukai. I've seen them live, and I've seen them tear up a room.
Yeah.
So like I think they got it in them. So it's not like a harsh criticism, but those two songs are cool. They could be
a little
cooler.
rushed, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
Hear that, Jukai?
Go.
Pat Kinlan has about $3,000 waiting with the.
I thought he said 4, but I'm not sure.
I definitely didn't say
$1,000 a song. Let's make it happen.
We robbing that big bank down the road.
Definitely didn't say
He's wearing a
4.
ball
All
of
right,
taco,
all right. So that was your last one.
Yes.
All right, 2 demos
Totally.
that I like that are both on Bandcamp. My buddy Andrew put out a demo. His band is called Combust. It is if you wanted to exist in 1989 at CBGB's, you would love this demo. It kind of reminds me of Outburst and bands of that ilk.
Oh shit!
Really well done. They just started playing. I think their first show was with the Cro-Mag, so it's
they already played.
it's a good way to start. Yeah,
They're on that
played-
Trapped Under Ice show in New Jersey coming up.
Yes, really, it's cool. It's really good. He had sent me a while back. I listened to it again today, and I really enjoyed it, and I think it's really well done. Definitely like 1989, 1990 New York hardcore. And then Seb has a new band that he didn't even talk about.
I know, he told me
TOS.
about it later. Yeah, like the next day he's
I
talking
don't know
about
what TOS. I don't know what it stands for. In my head, it stands for Terms of Service.
Yeah.
Which it's like you should just call the band EULA or something. End user license agreement. But I really like that
I
too.
appreciate you explaining what that is.
You know what? How many does everyone know what a fucking EULA is?
No.
No,
Go on.
thank you. Yeah.
But I really like that too, and I think it's got like that same kind of vibe. I enjoy it.
I really like that TOS demo. Fucking awesome.
What does it stand for? Do you know what it
No,
stands
I don't know what it stands for. I don't care what it
Terms of
stands for.
Service is cool. I like it.
Terms of Service. Terms of Service. Your new fucking
Yeah, but that
band,
makes
Seb.
you
Come
like
on.
some like pop punk band. Then you're patent pending.
Terms of
Oh,
Service?
yo, after Seb's emotional turn, Tears of Seb. TOS,
There you go.
Tears of Seb. That's what it's at. Yo, it's like he was saying to me when he was telling me about it, he's like, oh, it's sort of like it's influenced by Death Side, Bastard, and New York hardcore, like some Japanese hardcore. And I hear that in the production. There's some really raw guitars. The vocals, which Seb sings, really affected, totally different than the Regulate shit.
He sounds like he's in another room.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's
that vibe,
It's
you know?
fucking cool. I think it's there. But what I would say is when people cite Japanese hardcore, a lot of times you get a really stagnant drum beat. You got no low end. This totally has a New York drummer.
Okay.
And you can hear it. He's going at it. And it's, you listen to one song, you go, oh, this is a band from New York. It's great. I hope they do stuff. Again, don't get past Bandcamp. I already told Seb that. So do it.
But both demos, really good.
Combust,
Psyched.
TOS.
Yeah.
All right. I only heard one demo that I'll mention here, Way of Life. Some young dudes from South Florida. Cool. Straightforward sounding hardcore, fast shit. Some parts did remind me of like Floor Punch style, but like the thing is when people talk about Floor Punch and like I won't jump on it, what they miss, they'll be like, oh, there's this like plodding drum beat, this and that. Other. They missed that band was really fast. The fast parts were really fast, and that's what this band had, with some cool, really fast parts. So I dug that. Way of Life.
Probably my nightmare.
I don't know. We maybe we'll listen to it in the break.
Okay. So we are going to start ripping off the format of the Joe Budden podcast, where we play some of these songs for you at the end of episodes. But you got the boring version where we just sort of opine on each one.
Maybe we can throw a song on, do some post
that's true.
prod.
We can go out with
Post-prod.
something. But
there you go.
let's call that a wrap. And say that this was episode 2 of Axe to Grind podcast. Anybody want to get hit with an at anything? Not really.
At the podcast.
At the actual podcast. Okay, so
That's not the at.
What is it?
At Axe to Grindcast. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I believe so. On
Yeah.
Twitter.
Okay. All right.
And spelled out AXETOGRIND.
Yes.
CAST.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
you're better than that. So
The slowness on our brains is coming out strong
it's
here.
not good. So hit us on that shit, or individually if you're respectful and not in our business. And thank you for listening.
Feedback.
Thank you to John.
Hit us. Oh yeah, thank you to John Markson today, our engineer, and have a beautiful week and a half or week or whatever the fuck. Goodbye.